All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is a big treat for me. Amity and I are here from Florida to do this. Usually we do this as a live game show on the internet. We do it Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern. I hear you have different time out here. It's, I think, 3 hours later. But everyone calls me Free. I am the host of the game show called Are You Smarter Than a Politician? And let's see. I want to say thank you to all the members of the Libertarian Party of California for hosting us this weekend. We already had some friends out here. We've made a bunch more, so we're really happy to be here. And a special thanks to Mimi and Lauren and Kara and the convention committee. Really appreciate y'all. This has been a thrill being out here, so hope you enjoy this. And you can follow along on the screen here. If you're on X, you can follow me. I am at Smarter Game Show. My lovely, talented host or producer that does the majority of the work, her name is Terry Batts. She's in Florida today, but she's Batts T76. So you may have gotten the idea that this is not going to be a traditional debate. So the Libertarian Party already has plenty of forums for speeches and ideology. So I'm calling this the chair audition. So the chair is an executive role, and members deserve to see how candidates make decisions under pressure, prioritizing competing demands, and drawing real lines. So that's why we are using the Are You Smarter Than a Politician format. We'll have yes or no questions, fill in the blank prompts, and forced choices. So this tight structure removes filibustering and talking points and replaces them with clarity, judgment, and accountability. This format isn't meant to test how well someone can speak. It's about who's prepared to run the party when time is short and money is short and decisions actually matter. So first off, joining us, Wes Benedict. He was the executive director of LP National for a bunch of years. He is also the founder of Libertarian Booster PAC. You can follow him on X at Wes_Benedict. Second is Evan McMahon. He is the secretary of LP National. He's also the chair of LP Indiana. That's lpin.org. And you can follow him on X at Bad Evan. Last but not least is James Ostrowski. He's the chief legal advisor for LPNY. And you can follow him on X at Jim Ostrowski. If you're watching this at home, share it out. Usually we have funny prizes for the online game show. They don't really exist, and that's kind of the ongoing joke. So I just would show some, since Trump's ruined peace prizes and none of them matter anymore, we decided we wanted to have our own peace prize. So our grand prize is the Are You Smarter Than a Peace Prize. We also have other gifts on our prize shelf. We have Mike Johnson's signature cologne, Swamp Ass, and we have the Ayn Rand Fountainhead teddy bear. We also have an assortment of libertarian bobbleheads. And of course, we have the Lego Killdozer. So usually scoring works on the live show. The chat controls the score. But in this case, we have the lovely porcupine system, which we may try to figure out how to digitize and adapt for our own purposes because it's pretty cool. So you will decide who you like best and put your porcupine in the box. Basket. All right, so first to introductions, and we'll start with you, Evan. Little twist on introductions. We're gonna do introductions 1 year later. So instead of telling us who you are today, I want you to introduce yourself 1 year later after you've already served as chair of the Libertarian Party for a year. You have 1 minute.
Hello, everybody. My name is Evan McMahon. I'm the chair of the Libertarian Party. And in the last year, I'm sure you guys have seen that we have broken records and the highest level of membership that the party's ever seen in our 50-plus year history. We've raised more money, gotten more candidates elected. We've grown our affiliates by leaps and bounds. We've been on the front page of every major newspaper, and we're getting constant coverage from the media in a positive way. So I'm happy to be your chair, and I look forward to 5 more years of successful term before handing it off to the next young bloods who can take us even further into the libertopia freedom that we deserve. Thanks.
Excellent. Wes, to you.
Thank you. My name is Wes Benedict, and I told you when I ran for chair a year ago that I would be the best person to turn this party around. I told you how in 2004, when I was hired as executive director of the Libertarian Party of Texas, I brought us from $25,000 in debt to having a surplus. Plus, we recruited a record 168 candidates for the ballot in Texas, got over 7 million votes. When I was hired as executive director of the Libertarian National Committee in 2009, I was able to turn the party around from something that was dysfunctional, and I ended up serving for 8 years as executive director. Because I had such a great long track record, and because I cared so much about all of you who have put so much time into this party, that's why a year ago I stepped up to run for chair of this party. I thank you all for voting for me, Wes Benedict, for chair a year ago, and here we are today, much better off with lots of work to go. Thank you.
Excellent. Jim, to you.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here at the opening of the Libertarian Hall of Fame. Because 1 year ago, I promised that we would have a brick and mortar Hall of Fame in Philadelphia to educate the American people about the great history of the libertarian movement, which goes back to 1646. And I want to welcome special guest Ron Paul, who will be our first person admitted to the Libertarian Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
I like it. Put the goat in the hall. All right. This is our lightning round. This is a yes or no question and a one-sentence explanation. Back to you, Evan. The category is platform.
Thanks, Wes. I appreciate that.
I can mix it up. But I'll probably screw it up at some point.
fine.
If you've ever seen the show, there's a lot of that going on.
I don't mind
All right.
taking the lead.
All right, Evan, to you. The category is platform. Is the current platform too long?
Yes. I don't think we need absolutely everything in there. I think we need to establish our core principal values, but it needs to be something that we can explain to absolutely everybody in a simplified form. But I do think we've added a lot of stuff over the years.
All right, Wes, to you. Should the chair ever prioritize growth over principle?
No, because when we stick to our principles, that's when we grow the most. That's what gets people motivated to come out and join this party, be a candidate, run for office, whether you're win or lose, implement policies if you're elected, or put pressure on the other parties if you're not elected. So don't lose your principles. It won't cause growth.
Excellent. Jim, to you. Should unpopular platform planks be removed?
No, we need to go out and educate the public, and that's one of the things we're going to do. We're going to teach economics. We're going to teach why the Second Amendment is important, and we're going to make those unpopular platforms extremely popular, because they should be.
All right. Let's go backwards this time, because you guys pointed it out. All right, Jim, back to you. The category is authority and power. Should the chair publicly overrule a state affiliate?
I don't think so. I think we should and do have a kind of a federal type system where there's a lot of autonomy in the states. Now, if a state goes rogue and starts, calling for the elimination of the Second Amendment, yes. But generally speaking, I think the best way to encourage active states is to allow them to run their own situations.
All right. Wes, to you. Should the chair steer the national messaging direction?
Absolutely. We need a chair who sticks to libertarian principles so that it inspires more people to join the party and be confident that you're working on reducing government.
Evan, to you. Should the chair be accountable for election outcomes?
Yes. The chair is responsible for making sure that our candidates have the resources and support that they need, that our affiliates have the members and advocates that can volunteer on campaigns. The buck stops with the chair. If you're not doing your job, how can you expect good outcomes for our candidates?
All right. Let's go to Wes first this time. Wes, the category is ethics and integrity. Should major donors receive private access to party leadership?
I've met privately with major donors before, and I thought it was okay. It worked well. We got large donations.
Excellent. Evan, to you. Should ethics complaints be handled independently?
Absolutely. I'm actually on record saying this, that you cannot investigate your own bad behavior. You have to have an outside organization do it, a third party funded, paid for, to find all of the dirt.
All right. Jim, to you. Should ethics enforcement ever be quiet rather than public?
Depends on the situation. I'm a lawyer. It depends on the facts. In the law, minor complaints are dealt with privately, and then more serious things become a matter of public record. So I think that's a good model.
All right. Evan, to you. Category is ideological boundaries. Should there be clear ideological red lines?
Yes and no, but mostly no. And the reason for that is Dr. Michael Munger gives a speech about destinational versus directional libertarianism. We all come into the party at different phases of our libertarian journey. We should be welcoming to people as long as we're all moving in the same direction of libertopia.
All right. I like that. Wes, to you. Should candidates be allowed to deviate from the platform?
Yes, they should. Now, I think the party, especially the national chair and the communications from the national office, should stick to the platform and a hardcore libertarian message. But I've recruited a lot of candidates. Some leaned a little right, some leaned a little left. If there was a better libertarian candidate, let them step up and run. But if there's someone leaning to the right or left and wants to run as a libertarian, they're helping to grow our movement and helping to get our issues out there. So I accept them, and I have personally recruited those types of people.
All right. Jim, to you. Should ideological enforcement be centralized?
I don't think so. I think that the national chair should set an example of sticking to principle and encouraging that. I don't think it should be sort of a police enforcement thing. We have to persuade people. That's why we're libertarians. We're not going to browbeat people. We're not going to use violence or force. We're going to persuade people with logic and facts to go in our direction.
All right. Evan, to you, the category is state autonomy. Should national leadership ever override the states?
No, but if national feels that we are not a good fit for each other, we do have a mechanism for divorce. And the same is true if the affiliate feels the same way. But as far as overriding something within a state, states are their own, independent entities. While they are an affiliate and a member, they can do what they want.
All right. Wes, to you. Should states have full control over strategy?
States should have full control over their strategy for their own state, yeah.
Okay. Jim, to you. Should national standards apply to all states?
Yes, although there are certain issues that libertarians cannot agree on and haven't agreed on for decades. And when I'm chair, I'm going to try to encourage people to unite around the 96% of the things that we agree with, continue to debate the other things, but we need to unify and stop bickering over things when there's actually more important issues out there like affordability and the liberty of the individual.
All right. Wes, to you. The category is down ballot focus. Should local races take priority over national races?
So in 2019, I recruited 25 candidates who were local candidates in Pennsylvania. I lived in Austin, Texas at the time. We got 25 elected to partisan races in Pennsylvania. And in 2021, we elected 174 libertarian candidates to local township offices. So I'm a big fan of these local offices, but we also need good, strong candidates for president who get the message out to the entire country about the Libertarian Party and our principles.
All right. Jim, to you. Should the party steer resources towards city and county offices?
Well, I have a plan that's already published. I think we need to focus more on actually rural areas. And the reason is that's where we get the most votes. I think we need to target certain states like Wyoming. I think we should try to win the presidency in one state. So I believe in targeting. Urban areas are not our strongest area of support. It is, again, rural areas. I wouldn't ignore or abandon any part of the country, but we need to, when you're outnumbered, you need to focus your resources. Basic military strategy. I would start looking at the rural counties, sheriff's races, rural mountain states like Wyoming, Montana, and that's where our best prospects are, frankly.
All right. Evan, to you. Should candidates be discouraged from running for federal office?
I mean, no, but I have talked a few out of it over the years. You should run for the office that you can speak to. I learned that from a couple of my candidates in Indiana. They are not good at talking about state issues. They're good on federal issues. You should follow your passion there. But you're going to have more success building name ID, building something for the party, changing the Overton window on the local level, at least for now. But that's not always going to be the case.
All right. We've reached the end of the first round. The next game is called Blank the Government. This is a fill in the blank game. And so you have one sentence to fill in the blank, gentlemen.
I just want to say that that was absolute murder because I wanted every single one of your questions.
All right. So Evan, we'll start with you. Category is party reality check. The biggest problem facing the Libertarian Party right now is?
Apathy.
All right. Wes, to you.
Wait, I have a question. You said one word answer, or we can follow with a sentence
Let's
after our
follow
one
with
word?
the sentence, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to be nice today.
I'm not saying you didn't have, I'm not saying you had something to add, but
Way
if
to
you
call
did.
me out there, Wes. I'm going to just stick with my answer, apathy. I've been around to a bunch of different states, and it's rough out there.
All right, Wes, to you. The party's greatest untapped strength is?
People who are willing to stand up and run for office if you ask them to. That's what I've done. I've recruited more candidates than anyone else in the history of the party, and it takes someone who's just commenting on Facebook or sitting on their couch yelling at TV and turns them into a super activist who gets $10,000 worth of earned media and free publicity for the party.
All right. Jim, to you. The single biggest reason the Libertarian Party hasn't grown faster is?
We don't have a plan for victory. We don't have a strategy.
All right. We'll start with you this time, Wes. The category is strategy and growth. Sustainable party growth depends most on?
Having realistic plans so that you don't burn out just a few super hard workers. You need some good workers who are good at delegating work to other folks. And the best case is when you're good at raising money so you can hire good staff. The national chair's job was quite easy when I was executive director because they had me there making sure the rest of the staff and party worked well. That's the ideal situation.
All right. Jim, to you. The audience the party must reach next is?
Young people.
All right. Evan, to you. The fastest way to expand the party's influence is?
Try. And I'm going to expand on that. Doing op-eds, getting in the media, going out and holding rallies, doing events, being seen by not the people that are always in the room with you. That's the way.
All right. Jim, to you. Category is financial stewardship. The line item I would audit first is?
Military.
No, I mean within the party.
Oh, within the party?
Wait, do we have a military budget? Can we invade a state
sorry.
affiliate?
I came here on a Tomahawk helicopter, so.
Well, I'm assuming, I hate to say it, I assume that like most organizations, it's staff. So take a look at the staff budget.
All right. Wes, to you. The biggest financial risk for the party is?
Not bringing someone on who can inspire donors to come back and give a whole lot of money to the party like they used to.
Evan, to you. The spending category we should reduce is?
Our legal fund,
Interesting.
which is not ballot access, but our legal fund has been used for a lot of things that maybe aren't necessary.
Okay. Wes, to you. Categories messaging and media. The message we explain poorly to the public is?
It's important to run for office whether or not you win or lose an election. When you win the election, obviously you can implement libertarian policies directly, but when you lose and get 2 or 3%, you still help to educate the public on policies, and you also can embarrass and put pressure on the elected Republicans and Democrats who keep making terrible policy decisions and making our lives harder.
All right. Evan, to you. The word or phrase the party should stop using is?
Don't yell at me for this. Into the Fed. Because the average American doesn't understand it. It takes 30 minutes to explain it to them. You have to hook them first before you can convince them of something as complicated as ending the Fed. Sorry. I want to end the Fed. Please end the Fed. First audit and then end the Fed. But it's a really bad slogan for the average American who's just trying to figure out how to pay for their next meal.
All right. Jim, to you. The most persuasive libertarian argument is?
Self-ownership.
That would have been a great opportunity to say end the Fed and make me look horrible.
But what do you mean by end the Fed? I don't understand that at all. Do we have an extra half hour? All right. Evan, to you. Categories long-term vision. The issue that will define our relevance in 4 years is? Probably not the Fed, huh?
Yeah, but maybe I'm rethinking that. I think this is actually more civility than a standard issue. It's how we approach each individual issue with civility and compassion. If we can do that, it really doesn't matter what the issue is. We're going to have the relevancy on it.
All right. Wes, to you. The threat to long-term relevance that worries me most is?
If Donald Trump keeps pushing forward his authoritarian policies and totally takes away our ability to vote and elect the people that the people want to elect, which is hopefully libertarians. Sorry. That was good at the beginning.
You had a head of steam. Yeah. All right, Jim, to you. The state level model we should replicate is?
None of them, because we are not pursuing the right strategy to get around the fact that politics is rigged. We need to do direct action, and none of the states are doing that.
All right. Wes, to you. The category is experience in campaigns. The biggest reason campaigns fail is?
It's because somebody did not decide to run for office. You can look at, I've got on the libertarianboosterpack.org website, the election results for the last 15 years of 6,000 candidates. Very few elections are close. Most of our wins, we won by a lot because we filed. Most of our losses, we lost by a lot because of who was on the ballot. The number one reason we don't win or make a difference is if we don't run at all.
All right. Jim, to you. The support candidates actually need most is?
Direct action ideas like educating the public on economics and the Second Amendment and school exit, pulling your kids out of government school. We need new ideas, folks.
All right. Evan, to you. The best way to train new candidates is?
Get them working on a campaign. Volunteer on somebody else's campaign. You're going to learn the ropes. You're going to see how they succeed, how they feel, how they fail. That's the number one way.
All right. Jim, to you. Categories fundraising and resources. The biggest fundraising mistake the party makes is?
Losing, getting 1% for 50 years. Who wants to? Rich people are smart. They don't want to donate money for failed campaigns.
All right. Wes, to you. Donors stay long-term when they see what?
When they see you deliver what you said you were going to do. And so I'll go out there and say, donate money so we can hire staff, so we can recruit a lot of candidates, so we can help them fill out their campaign finance reports, get out there and campaign, and give them personally realistic expectations so that on election day, they're happy, the donors who gave the money are happy, and they'll keep coming back year after year after year to continue being libertarian activists and candidates and donors.
All right. Evan, to you. Party money should never be spent on
Pizza and beer. I don't know that that's happened. Party money should never be spent on. Boy, that's a tough one. Your spouse's company? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
that.
No follow-up.
I lost my slide. You made me laugh so hard I lost my slide. So
Can we vamp while you're doing this then? I
Hang
want a little party history.
I got go
Oh,
again.
there. Oh no, go ahead.
All right. All right. Back to you, Evan. Categories: internal leadership. Faction conflict usually stems from
Not having enough work to do. In Indiana, we don't care what faction you come from. We only care if you're doing the work and doing the job. I found that it's real hard for people to fight and bicker with each other when they're all in the trenches working together.
All right. West, to you. Trust inside the party breaks down when leaders
Try and force people out of the party who don't agree with them. And when that does happen, what I try and tell people is you don't have to be in party leadership to make something happen. I've recruited hundreds of candidates in multiple states as an activist in Austin, Texas, without having any official position in any of those states. I just reached out and worked with the state leadership if they wanted to, or worked with the counties or candidates if they wanted me to work with them that way. So whenever the party's fighting, I try and duck a little bit and work in some other area until the dust settles, and then I'll work with whoever's left.
All right. Jim, to you. The hardest leadership decision I expect to make is what?
That's a good one. I want to do a new strategy, so we're going to have to pull some resources from traditional categories of expenditure, such as running for office. So those decisions will have to be made. But in the end, we're going to grow the party, and we'll have room to pay for everything.
All right. All right, we got to the end of that round. The next round is called Pick One. So this is the one where I give you 5 options. Pick one of those 5 options. If you've got a 6th one, that's fine too. But we'll start with you, Evan. What should the chair prioritize first? Ballot access expansion, fundraising growth, media visibility, candidate recruitment, or internal reform?
In this cycle, it's going to be internal reform. But the second, 6th thing that I would do would be membership growth. We can't have any of the other things if we don't have members. When candidates, fundraising, doesn't matter. We don't have members, we don't go anywhere.
Okay. And I should have added that you can expand on that, so thank you for doing that.
Oh, okay, just make.
Yeah, Wes, to you. Primary measure of chair success: membership growth, donations raised, ballot access wins, elected officials, or media reach?
For now, it's donations raised. Our party is losing money year after year after year. We've got to stop that. We've got to start making revenue go up so we can do all those other things.
All right. Jim, to you. Who should the chair serve first? Party members, state affiliates, candidates, donors, or volunteers?
Can we add another?
Absolutely.
Increasing liberty in America. That's what the party has not done since 1971. That's going to be my focus. Increasing liberty for Americans.
Okay. Evan, to you. Biggest constraint on party growth: messaging confusion, lack of funding, ballot access barriers, internal infighting, or media exclusion?
I'm going to say one of the biggest constraints we have right now is messaging confusion. It's hard to tell nationally what a libertarian stands for or what it means. I get told all the time what a libertarian is, and it's funny to me because that's not what I signed up for. But all of those are, high up on the list. That's a good list that you put together.
Thank you.
I'd say all of them, yes.
This ain't my first rodeo. All right, Wes, to you. Most important use of national party funds: ballot access lawsuits, candidate support, staff and operations, media and marketing, or affiliate grants?
For now, it's staff and operations. I don't think we have a staff and operations that understand what's needed by the rest of the Libertarian Party. Now, eventually, staff and operations should be raising enough and having people on board so they can do those other activities and support our affiliates. We had 50 state ballot access when I was executive director, and I did that first by raising enough money so we could make that happen.
All right. Jim, to you. Chair's role during internal conflict: public mediator, private negotiator, rules enforcer, neutral observer, or decisive authority?
Good question. I'm going to be a unifier. This movement has been divided since 1983, and I'm going to bring people together. And there's no easy formula to do that. But one thing we can do is actually talk to each other, as opposed to not talking. I'm going to talk to people and try to get people talking to each other who haven't communicated in a very long time. And I think I can do that.
All right. Evan, to you. Best path to electoral relevance: local offices, state legislatures, congressional races, presidential runs, or issue-based campaigns?
I'm going to say local offices, but also issue-based campaigns are really close. We can have a huge impact in the legislature by showing up and having laws repealed or preventing laws. But local offices, we have 31 elected libertarians in Indiana, all partisan races, all local, and they've done amazing work, including getting Liberty Township is now like 85% libertarian board. So yeah, local offices, then issue-based.
All right. Wes, to you. Most important chair skill: principled leadership, operational management, fundraising ability, public communication, or conflict resolution?
I'm tempted to say operational management because I've done a real good job of that, and the party definitely needs that. However, what's most needed is principled leadership. Someone that knows that if you join the party and donate to the party, you're not going to then go endorse Donald Trump for president or hire your baby daddy, something like that. So principled leadership for an extended period of time is mostly what's needed right now.
All right. Jim, to you. Primary audience the party should target: disaffected major party voters, young voters, liberty movement activists, non-voters, or local community leaders.
Well, not to sound like a broken record, but young people are the future. Young people are struggling. Young people can't afford houses. They can't afford to get married. They can't afford to have kids. That's our audience.
Evan, to you. Best way to support state affiliates: financial grants, legal assistance, training resources, messaging support, autonomy, and non-interference.
I also feel like I should say training, but I'm going to say, no, I am going to do it. I'm going to stick to my strong suit and say training resources, but also messaging support. It's all about getting the affiliates the tools and direction that they need for them to make the decisions for their candidates and their activists in their communities. That's the best way that the national party can support the affiliate.
All right. Wes, to you. Most dangerous risk to the party: ideological dilution, centralized control, financial instability, public irrelevance, or internal fragmentation.
Centralized control is a big risk, especially if you have bad ideas and implement those bad ideas to the entire organization. That's why we have 50 state affiliates who are mostly autonomous. Of course, we need a national party with good messaging that inspires folks, but we need 50 different states to try things their way, and we can always look to good states like Texas or even great states like Indiana, give them credit, and see what they're doing and let those people decide, let the states be autonomous so they can decide what works best.
All right. Jim, to you. What the chair must be willing to say no to: major donors, media narratives, popular but unprincipled candidates, factional pressure, or short-term growth, sorry.
I can add my own.
Absolutely.
Again, this is a party without a winning strategy. So we need to say no to permanently getting 1%. We need new strategy. And I have a 19-page platform that sets that forth.
All right. Final question. When your term as chair ends, how should Libertarian Party members know you succeeded? And we've got a little time, so I'll give you 2 minutes on this. Evan, to you, sorry.
You're proud to be a libertarian. When somebody asks you a question, you start up with saying, I'm a libertarian and we believe, and that you're proud to do it. That's my number one metric for success. The second thing would be the highest membership record, and I'm really saying that, followed by fundraising, candidates on the ballot, candidates elected, policies enacted in our states. Those are the things that you should look to say if I was successful or not as chair. It's not if we have a building, if we passed 15 resolutions, if we did X, Y, or Z. It's, did we grow the party? Did we get more people elected? Are more people running? But at the end of the day, do you feel proud to tell somebody you're a libertarian? I'm going to do a little audience participation. How many people in this room in the last 4 to 6 years have had a moment where they didn't want to tell somebody they were a libertarian? Raise your hand. Okay. That shouldn't happen for anybody. That's my metric for success. Thanks.
Wes, to you, same question. When your term as chair ends, how should Libertarian Party members know you succeeded?
Yeah, I totally agree with Evan. We need to feel proud to be libertarians. There was a time about 6 months ago, some horrible messaging was coming out of the Libertarian Party in New Hampshire. And I've run this Libertarian booster pack where I do a lot of candidate recruitment, but I also sell shirts and hats that say Libertarian, really big on them. And I'm going home from our Travis County meeting with my Libertarian shirt on, going into the grocery store, and I'm feeling self-conscious about being a libertarian in my neighborhood, which is a lot of foreigners. It's like a 40% white place. It's not, there's a lot of Asians, Hispanics, African Americans. And meanwhile, this New Hampshire affiliate is putting out disgusting racist stuff. It's totally inappropriate, and it's made a lot of people scared to be associated with the Libertarian Party. We need to take control of our messaging, make sure it's clear that we welcome everyone into the party, regardless of race, religion, or sexual orientation, or anything about that individual. We are nice people. We want smaller government. We want less welfare. We don't want regulations, but we do care a lot of people, and our policies help everybody. They help everyone, rich or poor or middle class. And so when I'm done as chair, I mostly want people to be proud to be a libertarian. Of course, a bunch of candidates, fundraising, membership, all that up as well.
Excellent. Jim, to you, same question. When your term as chair ends, how should Libertarian Party members know you succeeded?
Liberty is the greatest political idea in human history. I'm going to keep saying that until it sinks into the American public. But we do not have a winning strategy, and our marketing sucks. And I'm going to fix those two problems. I'm going to start to fix them within 30 days. We're going to have a number of strategies, but we're going to add direct citizen action, which we've never done before. And we're going to fix the marketing problem. What's our logo? We're going to get a new logo. We're going to have a marketing committee. We are going to have a Libertarian Hall of Fame. We are going to have an international strategy conference in Tennessee, probably because it's centrally located. And I have we're not only going to make the party politically relevant again, we're going to become a player in American life with the school exit program, the Walk for Liberty, an app to rank counties so we can start moving to counties that are freer. We're going to become a player in American life for the first time since 1971.
Excellent. And in closing, I want to give you guys each 2 minutes each for a closing statement. Evan, to you.
Y'all are making him go first.
That's right, again, every time. It's fine, it's fine. I'm good, I'm good. Yeah, it just springs it on me each time. My name's Evan McMahon. I've been the Libertarian Party of Indiana chair since 2021. It followed the success of our gubernatorial candidate, Donald Rainwater, who in a three-way race in a state that has straight ticket voting, he got 12% of the vote. That accounted to second place in a third of the state. In 33 out of 92 counties, the Libertarian came in second place, beating the Democrat. I was on his campaign, but that was all him, dude. But immediately after the campaign, actually a few weeks before the campaign was up, I started working to take those volunteers and those donors to affiliate 21 new county parties in 1 month. Some of them have been our biggest and most successful affiliates in the state. Actually running more candidates than the Democrats have for the last 4 years each time. I've been to your state numerous times doing training programs, working with county parties and candidates. I've traveled to every state except for Alaska and Hawaii. I'm dedicated to this party. I've given it my life. I've got a torch tattooed on my arm. I don't think I'm going anywhere. But I want to see this party grow, and I want to see this party succeed. I want to take the things that we've done in Indiana to get on the front page of the largest newspaper in Indiana, the Indianapolis Star. We get front page coverage every month from doing op-eds. Their largest read article in 2024 was my op-ed on civil asset forfeiture. It spurred 3 different radio interviews and 2 different television interviews, and the cops gave back the money in the end. Yeah. It wasn't magic. It was just doing the work. And that's what I want to do as chair. I want to make sure that you guys, as activists, as candidates, as members, as leaders in your state and county parties, have the resources and tools that you need to be successful, because I want a freer world for my 12-year-old nephew. I want him to grow up in a place where he can live the life that he wants to without an oppressive boot on his neck. Thank you.
Excellent. Wes, to you.
Evan has done a great job as chair in Indiana and a lot of his other activism. I've been a big fan of the Libertarian Party of Indiana for a long time. When I was hired as executive director in Texas, I looked to what Indiana was doing so successfully, and I wanted to model that in Texas. And that's what we did. We did a lot of the same things. I was the professional staff executive director. We recruited a lot of candidates, run good, strong campaigns, raised a bunch of money. I've done a lot of that at the national level as well. And after leaving as executive director, and I served for 8 years as national executive director. That's longer than anyone else has ever done that in the 54-year history of the party. And they've had 5 or 6 or so since I've left. after leaving, I helped a bunch of other states recruit a lot of candidates. 57 in Mississippi, or I'm sorry, 17 in Mississippi, 57 in Arkansas, 67 in Alabama, several in Virginia as well. I think I would be the best person to help turn around the national party again. Others have some good skills, but I've done it on the national scale, having worked there for 8 years. I know what all the problems are. I know when it's time to hire a good staff person, and on rare occasions, you need to fire a staff person that's not doing a good job or that's not in the right position, or move someone in a different position. I was hired twice to take over for an acting executive director, and we kept them. I worked with them. I liked them. It's just that I was the new executive director, and now I was coaching them on how to be effective in a slightly different role. I think I'm the lowest risk person to serve as chair of the national party, and I think I also show the biggest upside potential. And you know what? If we grow the party a bunch in the next few years, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there saying, okay, now let's go out there and find someone who's actually good to take it to the next level. But I know I can take it from down where it is here, back up to where we were, and at least a little bit higher than that. And that's why I hope you'll support Wes Benedict with your green porcupine. Thank you.
Jim, do you?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for inviting me to this very challenging format. I don't know if anybody noticed an obituary the other day. Ed Crane died. We need to this movement, this party, and the movement itself. We need to unify. We have been divided since 1983. I was there. One of the benefits of being old, I've been there since 1979. And I'm one of the few people who worked with Ed Crane, Lou Rockwell, David Bose, Murray Rothbard, my teacher. I'm a big tent guy. I'm a unifier. I think we can unify this movement because, you know what? Since the party was founded in 1971, and I got the stats, if you're a glutton for punishment, you can read my memo. We have less liberty now. It's not that we haven't increased liberty. We have less liberty now. And this lack of liberty is beginning to cause serious social decline. This country is in serious trouble. And I think my final message to the party is I'm going to bring a sense of urgency. Where's the urgency? This is an emergency. And I'm going to hit the ground running with a set of completely new strategic and marketing ideas to bring this country back to the libertarian heritage that created it in 1776. So I'm going to be a unifier. I'm going to bring people together, and I'm going to bring a sense of urgency to this mission because we need it. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so Mimi explained the scoring at the beginning. Just give us 1 second, we'll do that. But we've got blue for Evan, green for Wes, and black for Jim. You're gonna put it in the basket with Mimi. Do you wanna come up here or what? Oh, pink for Noda. Nobody's picking Noda, they were all great. Come on now. The baskets, and I want to say thank you again to all of you for hosting us. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a different format. We wanted to get a bunch of information out there, see these guys under pressure, and we will be distributing these questions to them if they want to go any further or answer somebody else's questions. They can do that. And thank you. If you want to see us do this live, we do it Tuesdays and Fridays. It's a little more crazy than these distinguished gentlemen, so it's a lot of fun too. You can find us Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern on X, YouTube, and Rumble. Question? No. I'm making an executive decision. No.
Good question. That's the toughest question all day.
Does anybody else need a porcupine? I've never said that before. Does anybody need a porcupine? All right, and I got my stickers up here. So if you want a taxation is theft or a steal your wealth sticker, come grab one from me. Appreciate you all doing this. Hope you had fun.
We're breaking free, yeah.